She wanted her best friend's life, her house, her husband, her happiness. But she didn't know that taking what isn't hers would turn her dream into a living nightmare. Amara and Zina grew up the way only true childhood friends do, sharing one life between two bodies. In the crowded, noisy compound of Okeofa in Lagos, they were known as the twins who didn't look alike. In the mornings, you would see them running barefoot through puddles of yesterday's rain, carrying plastic buckets, chasing each other between lines of drying clothes. In the afternoons, they sat in front of Mama Risi's kiosk, eating puff-puff, laughing loud enough for the entire street to hear. And on Saturday mornings, Amara plaited Zina's hair while they talked about the future. Amara was calm, the kind of girl who spoke softly, who thought carefully before saying anything. She was patient, kind, easy to love. Zina was a wildfire, loud, dramatic, always imagining a life bigger than their environment. She wanted luxury, wealth, influence. She wanted to escape the dusty streets and loud generators of their neighborhood. They were different, but inseparable. Everyone knew that if Zina showed up at a party, Amara wasn't far behind. If Amara was sick, Zina stayed beside her until she recovered. If Zina failed a test, Amara stayed up tutoring her through the night. Their mothers often teased them. You two, born in different homes but raised by one heart. Nothing could separate them. Not school, not distance, not time. At night, under the soft hum of the ceiling fan, they whispered their dreams. Amara dreamt small but sweet, a peaceful life, a man who loved her sincerely, a small business she could grow with her hands. Zina dreamt bigger than her imagination could carry. A mansion, designer clothes, a rich husband, vacations outside the country, a life that sparkled. And Amara would smile gently and say, "You will get it. God will do it." Zina believed it with her whole chest. Life moved forward until the day Amara met the man who would change both of their destinies. It happened during one of her catering jobs, a corporate event where she delivered trays of small chops and drinks. She was sweaty, stressed, and trying to balance too many things at once when she heard a deep voice behind her. "Let me help you with that." She turned and saw Kenneth. Tall, dark, well-dressed, his smile warm and confident. At first she was shy, but Kenneth wasn't the kind of man you ignore easily. He complimented her food, then her work ethic, then the gentleness in her eyes. He visited her catering jobs, brought her surprise lunches, and walked her home after evening lectures. He made her feel seen, protected, cherished. Amara didn't fall in love quickly. She fell slowly, steadily, naturally. When she finally introduced him to Zina, Zina squealed and hugged her so tightly that Amara almost lost her breath. "My Amara don't finally see man," she laughed loudly. "No more single girls association." She meant it, at least at first. But when Kenneth proposed months after graduation, something inside Zina shifted. It wasn't hatred, it wasn't anger, just a pinch, a quiet sinking feeling she couldn't explain, a tiny whisper in her heart that said, "Why not me?" Kenneth's proposal was beautiful. Candlelight, roses, a silver ring that sparkled like fresh water under sunlight. Everything a woman could want. Their wedding was the talk of Lagos. Classy, elegant, overflowing with love. Amara looked like a queen. Kenneth looked at her like she was his entire world. They danced like their feet were floating. Zina was maid of honor, smiling brightly for pictures, laughing loudly at the jokes, cheering the couple with excitement. But deep inside, something tightened. After the wedding, Amara moved into Kenneth's mansion, a breathtaking duplex with marble floors, high ceilings, huge windows, designer furniture, and luxury cars parked outside like trophies. When Zina visited for the first time, she was stunned into silence. Amara was living the life she had always dreamed of. The living room looked like a magazine cover. The kitchen sparkled like glass. The walk-in closet was filled with lace fabrics, gold jewelry, foreign perfumes. The bathroom had a bathtub large enough to swim in. Zina smiled, but her smile trembled. Inside her heart, that quiet whisper returned. This should have been my life. But she hugged Amara tightly and said, I'm so happy for you. For now. Her envy was still small, still pretending to be admiration. Amara believed her marriage would be perfect. Kenneth was caring, loving, gentle. He opened doors for her, bought gifts for her, held her waist when they walked. But slowly, the cracks began to show. It started small, with nights he didn't return home. Amara would sit in the living room waiting, staring at the clock as hours passed. Her food got cold, her eyes grew heavy, but she waited anyway. He returned smelling of alcohol and sometimes perfume that wasn't hers. Where were you? Asked one night, her voice shaking. He turned, eyes cold. You are asking me questions now. She swallowed her fear. I didn't pick your calls. Then came the first slap. It was so sudden that sound left her world for a moment. Her vision blurred, her ears rang. Kenneth's anger evaporated instantly. I'm sorry, you provoked me. You know I hate nagging. He kissed her forehead gently. The next morning, he bought her a new iPhone and an expensive handbag. And that became the rhythm. He hits, he apologizes, he buys gifts, she forgives, he hits again. Amara hid everything, using concealer for her face, long sleeves for her arms, scarves for her neck. She posted happy pictures online. She smiled in public. She played the role of the perfect wife. No one suspected anything, not even Zina. Each time Zina visited the mansion, she admired everything. The chandeliers, the designer chairs, the perfumes lined up on the dresser. Kenneth greeted her warmly. Zina, you are welcome. Hope traffic no hold you too much. She laughed shyly. Thank you, sir. Amara sat there smiling, hiding the swelling on her palm where Kenneth had squeezed too hard the previous night. Zina saw only the comfort, never the bruises, only the luxury, never the pain. And in comparison, her own life looked like dust. Her tiny apartment, her unstable boyfriends, her constant hustle. Envy grew roots deep in her heart. It started as longing, then desire, then bitterness. Soon she began to believe Amara didn't deserve the life she had. And then Zina crossed a line. She visited Baba Ojonugwa, a herbalist feared for his powerful spiritual work. His small hut smelled of ash and forgotten secrets. Red cloths hung everywhere, cowries lined the floor. Zina stood shaking, her heart pounding. She said, I want Kenneth. I want him to love me. I want him to leave his wife. The old man stared at her with tired, knowing eyes. He said, this work binds destinies. If I do it, you must never leave him. Even if he hurts you, even if he destroys you, the charm cannot be undone. Zina hesitated, but envy shouted louder than reason. Do it! The ritual began, herbs burning, chants rising, red and black threads tied to a clay pot with Kenneth's name inside. The air grew heavy, tense. You must throw the charm in the river tonight, Baba Ojonugwa said. There is no turning back. Zina did as she was told. From that day, the nightmare began. Kenneth grew distant, bitter, angry. He stared at Amara with hatred she didn't understand. He snapped over small things. He refused to touch her. He shouted, insulted, cursed. One evening, he pointed at her suitcase. Pack your things. Leave my house. She froze, her world collapsing. She begged him, crying, confused. But he threw her out like a stranger. Broken, humiliated, she returned to the small neighborhood in Okeofa to start again. Meanwhile, Zina, dressed in her best gown, applied makeup and entered the mansion like a new queen. But what she expected was not what she met. Love does not follow magic.
On her first night, Kenneth slapped her for asking a simple question. The next week, he smashed her phone. He dragged her by her hair. He hit her harder than he had ever hit Amara. Zina realized too late that she had not stolen love, she had stolen pain. She ran back to the herbalist crying, "Please break it, I'm begging you." Baba Ojogunwa looked at her sadly. "I warned you, retrieve the charm from the river or stay bound to your suffering." Zina left limping, her face swollen, her spirit shattered. Amara, meanwhile, found quiet strength. She rented a small self-contained room, returned to her catering business, and built herself back piece by piece. She prayed, she healed, she breathed again. Months later, Zina appeared at her door, bruised, crying, broken. "Amara, I'm sorry. I wanted your life. I destroyed everything." Amara stared at her, heart shattered. She forgave her softly, but with tears in her eyes, she said, "We can never be friends again." Those words crushed Zina's soul more than any beating. She returned to Kenneth's mansion, a golden prison, trapped by the charm she created. Amara continued growing, healing, finding peace, finding herself again. And that is the true luxury, peace. Not cars, not houses, not luxury, because envy is a debt that must always be paid in full. Thank you for watching this story to the end. Let me know in the comments, what message did this story leave with you? Share it with someone who needs to hear it, and hit the like button to keep the stories coming. Don't forget to subscribe so you are the first to know when a new story drops. Until the next chapter, stay safe, stay inspired, and see you soon.